Hello, everyone. Welcome to Writers Chat. How happy we are to have you with us today, whether you're here with us right this minute or you're watching the replay. My name is Johnny Alexander. I'm joined by my co-host, Melissa Stroh, and our very special guest, which I have the privilege of introducing her because I was one of the first people to ever meet her. My daughter, Jill Lancour, is with us to talk about how Bookstagram helps authors. And this is like a little lesson that she whispers in my ear all the time because I'm not real good at following through, even though I want to be. So this really glad to have her on here to talk about this. Jill is a Christian influencer on Bookstagram on Instagram, so she'll probably talk about that, about her book club, and what she's doing for the Christian fiction community right now, as far as getting the word out about releases and that kind of thing. She's been I'm going to say this, an unintentional influencer off and on for many years on Instagram. And it just seems like she always builds followings, and then she'll kind of take a different direction and builds a following and takes a different direction and builds a following. And Bethany and I just sit there green with envy of how easy she makes it look, but she does do the work. She makes the graphics, she puts in the time, and she loves doing it. So she's going to talk to us today about that. She's also a homeschool mom with two beautiful granddaughters, Katie and Presley, and we're just living life together. I'm home now in Florida with Jill and her family, so it's good to be back. And Jill, just going to turn it over to you.
Well, thank you for having me. It's been a while since I've been on here. I think the last time I was on here and taught anything was like in, 2019 maybe.
Wow.
Um, and it was probably about Instagram too.
Yeah. I think it was
Um,
when we were doing the 9 boxes or the 6 something or other,
oh, yeah,
and we
content.
don't do that anymore, right? So
Well, actually, you can. I'm going to kind of talk about that.
okay, okay.
Um, so Bookstagram, let me explain what Bookstagram is, just in case it's a term that sounds very foreign to you. So it's basically just Instagram, which is the social media app with books added to it. So it's Bookstagram instead of Instagram. And it is basically an Instagram page completely dedicated to the love of everything literature, bookish things, the fiction world. It's just a whole umbrella of things that's under literature, basically. There's tons of different ways you can have a bookstagram, and people do bookstagram. There's the thing that I want to talk to you guys today about being Christian authors is how Bookstagram, it's a part of what you do. Actually, it's one of the biggest parts of what you do after your craft of writing. Um, and it's definitely um, what's the word? It's definitely something that you need to, as a writer and an author, you need to be aware of. I know you guys are always told to build your followings, build your followings, build your platforms, build your platforms. And while I don't know much about the publishing world, I do know that while that's very important, one of the best things you can do is build a community on social media, because the Bookstagram community, these are not just people who love books. These are your readers, they're your reviewers, they're your cheerleaders, and they are possibly your critics. So you want to make sure that you are not only visible on your own Instagram so that they feel like you're not just an author, like a ghosted author that they're never going to have any contact with, but that you are engaging with your readers. And it's really a special relationship that you can build with them through your page as an author, and then their page as the bookstagrammer, the reviewer, the one who's recommending your books. Okay, so I'm gonna basically break this down into 3 different things. So what do bookstagrammers do with their own pages? What you should do, what they're gonna be looking for when they go look at your Instagram, and then how you can collaborate with them to not only grow your own following, but to get more readers, which is really the point, right? So like I said, bookstagrammers, these are your readers, they're your reviewers, they're your cheerleaders, and they're your critics. I kind of was saying this before, but there's different ways that people do Bookstagram. There are people who have whole entire accounts just dedicated to fantasy, or to, like, for mine is basically, if I had to niche it down, would be for Christian historical fiction. That is my passion. That is my love to read. I will read contemporary, and I've done that, and I've done reviews on contemporary, Christian contemporary fiction, but my love is historical. So if you're wanting to know like a good recommendation, that I hope you come to my page. Um, so I'll get to more about niches and Bookstagram in a minute, but basically Bookstagrammers are sharing what they're reading. They're sharing what's new. They're sharing authors' own giveaways. They're sharing launch teams. They're sharing funny reels about reading. I mean, everything and anything bookish they are sharing. And so if you have books, or you're in the middle of writing a book and you're trying to build that readership, you want to be hand in hand with Bookstagrammers. So yeah, they're your free advertising, because it doesn't cost anything to post something on social media. It's truly just free free love for authors. They may use your books for their own book club. Yes, they recommend your books. They will review your books or share your books. And again, the hard part about writing, I know, ladies, for you, and gentlemen, not for me because I'm not a writer, but the critiques. I was going to give you an example. There's an author. She's not a Christian author, but her name's Emily Henry. You guys may know who she is. She writes a lot of contemporary romance, and I guess she like had this huge blow up on TikTok, and everyone was talking about reading her books, especially young women. So I knew nothing about her, and I didn't do research, and I got one of her books and found out it had a lot of spice content to it, which is not my thing as a Christian woman. I don't want anything to do with that. And so I made a reel apologizing because I had shared that I was reading this book. So I made a reel, which is basically like a video. It's a very short video that you can make on Instagram. It's probably 15 to 20 seconds long. And basically I'm showing the book and I'm saying, like, I shouldn't have listened to the reviews that young women were reading it, because young women are crazy. We don't need Emily Henry, we need Christ. And I threw the book behind my shoulder, like, to get rid of it. And that reel has over 17,000 views. So that's over 17,000 potential people who now have been told, if you're a Christian, Emily Henry is not the way to go. So that's an example of how someone may use Instagram to critique your books and say, again, if you are looking for no spice, clean content, my whole thing is sharing reads that honor Christ. Emily Henry is not going to be the way to go. So that's one way they critique. When I don't like a book, I usually don't recommend it. I usually don't share it, because, especially because I know my mom obviously is an author. I never want to hurt people's feelings, because I know how hard people work to get a book out there and to write. And so usually I just won't share, but there are people who will critique your books very openly. So that is maybe the downside of Bookstagram for you guys, but it's also important because their readers want to know what um what to read and what not to read. And a lot of these people have huge followings. Some Bookstagrammers have over 100,000 followers, so, or more. So it's a really big field, again, on Instagram, and you guys are the reason that Bookstagram exists, because you're the writers. So what can you do as an author? What do we as the Bookstagrammers, the readers, look for? Let me just tell you that when I love a book and I go and I say, who wrote this? I immediately go to Instagram and I am heartbroken, truly devastated if they do not have an Instagram at all, or it's like they haven't posted in a while. I feel so like, no, like it was like this gift I had. Now I'm like, like it was taken away from me. And it's the best feeling to love an author's work. Go see them on Instagram and see that they're active, that you can see that they're continually writing. Maybe they have another book coming out. this is how you get those follows because I want to know everything else that they're writing. I want to know what they're doing. And so the best thing you can do is keep your account updated. And again, I know my mom, my sister, they've been doing this for a long time. I know publishing houses and stuff, they really want those numbers for book sales. It makes sense. But when I love an author, I will buy everything that that author does. And that's what you want to pour into. You want to find your readers. You want to build community with them. And Instagram, again, is a wonderful way to do this. Um, okay, so keep your Instagram updated. What does that mean? So hopefully there's a class out there that maybe you can look at on how to even do Instagram and what the Instagram terms mean, but I will try to do my best to explain them. So on your Instagram profile, you can do something that is like 24-hour stories. And then you have like your posts, which is what people see. They're like the pictures, the content that people see when they first come to your account. It's important that but that profile picture, which is your 24-hour stories, is in the red, meaning you have posted something, because that tells me you're active. Even if your pictures, your actual posts, it's been some days, even maybe a week since you've posted that. If I can see that you're posting in your stories, it tells me you're still on this account. It tells me you're still active. It tells me you're worth my follow because you're doing something here. But I do think it's important to keep those posts active. And then I'll encourage you guys on what to post in a minute. But yeah, so the best thing you can do is make sure that your readers know you are here, you're alive and well, and you have more stuff coming. And if you don't have more stuff coming, the stuff that you've put out is still worth the read. So any kind of content that you can do, put it out there. I'm kind of jumping, but I even have written down in my notes that so many of you guys say no one cares. Yes, they do. I'm telling you that we care. We care about the behind the scenes. We care about the research that you've done on the book you're writing. I love to see if an author is like, you know what, I got to get out of the house. I got to get out of this headspace. I need a different atmosphere. I need a new aesthetic. I'm going to go write at a coffee shop. I want to see that. And so even if your little brain is saying nobody cares about this, yes, they do. Listen to me. We do. We care. We want to see what you're doing. Again, we're investing not just in your book, but in you. Liz Tolsma is one of my favorite authors, and I will follow that woman all the way. If she posts something that she's doing, I want to know because I love her books. And therefore, it makes me feel like I love her. So personal things that she may post, that's like a treasure. It truly is like a nugget of, oh, that's so exciting that I get to see her like inside world a little bit. So you're going to tell yourself, no one cares about this. I'm not going to post it. And I'm telling you, we do care. The other thing you may say is, this is stupid. Like, it's stupid to show what I'm reading today. No, it's not. If you're reading something, we want to know what you're reading too. You're a reader as well as a writer. We want to know what's inspiring you. What are you taking inspiration from? So share those things. And again, you can do that in your story, which is a 24-hour story. It will disappear and you can archive it and put it in the cute little highlights you see underneath the bio on the Instagram, and people can go back and continually see what you've posted. Okay, so make sure your account is updated and active. Make sure that your name on Instagram is your author name, because it is so frustrating when you're looking for an author and they have some wackadoodle name and I don't know if it's them or not. I want to know it's them. So then the other thing you can do is, like my mom, Johnny Alexander, underneath her name, you can say what you are on Instagram. So you could say you're a blogger, you're an author, you're a writer, you're a content creator. Have that on there, because then that immediately tells we've arrived. This is the author I'm looking for. This is the person. This is not someone else. This is them. And then that's going to make it so easy for your readers to find you and follow you. So again, keep your account updated. Make sure your name is your name. and then make sure that it is very clear that you are the author they are looking for. So sorry, I'm looking at my notes. So a really good example I wrote down is Liz Tolsma. Right under her name, it says author, and then her bio says best-selling Christian fiction author, mother, and there's something else really sweet about her. But that tells me first things first, again, she's a Christian fiction author. This is the Liz that I want and I'm looking for. So make sure that your bio is not just random. Make sure that you are telling people if you write Christian fantasy, you write Christian fantasy, write that. Because also people who may not even know who you are, if they find you and they are looking for that, if they're looking for mystery or Christian suspense or whatever you write, you've immediately told them, here it is. This is it, look at my stuff. So make sure you're very clear in your bio what you write, what your genre is. Yeah, use your own headshot. Don't put a picture of your cat. Don't put a picture of a flower, even though these things are beautiful, or even a Bible verse. Like that's great. And we love that. We want to glorify the Lord in all things, but we want to be very clear who you are. So make sure that your headshot is across the board on all your social media profiles. If you're on Twitter or X, if you're on Facebook, whatever you're on, make sure that they are consistent so it's easy for them to find you. So what can you post to make your account interesting to your followers, to your Bookstagram readers? Again, I said behind the scenes of your writing is amazing. I mean, can you imagine if we could see behind the scenes of Tolkien writing Lord of the Rings? I know we have those little things, but could you imagine if you really could see it? Like if he had an Instagram, that would be incredible. Or Jane Austen. I would love that. You guys are these people, like in hundreds of years, they may be saying like, I love that I could see Johnny Alexander, writing and drinking her Pepsi. That is super adorable. We want to see these things. So behind the scenes, definitely throw your books out there. If you've written books or a book, or put it out there, you're not going to overwhelm people. Canva is the app everybody needs, and you can make beautiful graphics very easily. It's very easy to use. And when people say, no, it's not easy, the more you play around with it and the more you do with it, it will start becoming second nature to you. I've been using Canva for years, and it will take me like that to do something that I know someone who's not even trying to work it, it's going to take a long time. But I've gotten that skill because I use it so much. So get on Canva, make graphics, with AI imaging now, you can put in your characters' descriptions and come up with these awesome pictures, like almost like your book, turn your book into a picture book. Put that on your Instagram. Is this what you think the characters look like? What did you think that they look like? Like these are engaging questions. These are posts that are going to get your readers excited and rethinking about your book if it's already been out there for a while, or a new book that's coming out. Be creative. Again, it's not stupid, and we do care. Books you're reading, again, we want to know what's inspiring you. If you're listening to a certain album while you write, that is so fascinating for us as the readers. If you have to have a certain aesthetic to be able to write, we want to know those things. So open up kind of your world to us. Quotes is a great way to have a filler post.
I was going to say, did I unlock the back door? How are you doing this morning?
Should I keep going? Quotes of books that you love. So my Bookstagram account, I'll put a Jane Austen quote out there. A lot of my followers love that kind of stuff as well. So you as a writer, you can do the same thing. If you write mystery, maybe you throw out maybe like a puzzle for someone to figure out. Like, be creative, do something really fun, again, to create engagement. The more you can get your followers to like, comment, share on their own things, the more traction Instagram is going to give you, and the more other people are going to find you. So this is like, again, building a community. As someone who's done Instagram, like my mom said, I've done Instagram for a long time, and it's true. I'm pretty sure I've undiagnosed ADHD. So I get very I get ideas and then I move on quickly. But I've had some successful Instagram followings, and when I've focused on the numbers, not only does it not sit right with with me, but it just doesn't feel right. But when I've thought and made it about building a family, and these women are not like my followers or my sisters in Christ, and like I want to get to know them and connect with them, it changes everything. And so for you as a writer, you really are building that family, your readership. These are people who are investing their time, their money into your skill, your craft, this beautiful talent that God has given you for his glory. So remember, I know they're going to tell you followers, followers, followers. You just keep like change that in your head to family, family, family. Like these are my readers. This is my community. So share with them, open up your world with them. I put here in a note, you want your followers to know you, your family, to know you and come back to see what you're doing, build relationships with them using social media. And then just, you don't have to have an aesthetic, but it is cute to know that if I see a post just in my stream, so everybody's posting and I'm just seeing like one post of everybody at a time, that your colors, that your font is similar to what you're always posting. So I know it's your post before I even have to look who posted this. I kind of know it's you. So coming up with like your hex codes, like what colors inspire you, what colors are beautiful to you. So like I love pink. So my Instagram is mainly pink shades. And I think that people would know when they see a quote and it's a bunch of pink, they're probably going to expect it's me before they can even look at my username and say, oh, that's Jill's post. But again, I don't want to overwhelm you guys. You don't have to do that. I wanted to give you 2 examples for you guys to write down. I'm going to give you a man and a female. Christy Cameron, she's a wonderful example of Instagram, and she shows so much about the book she's reading, what she's doing, and she also gives you tidbits. Like she posted something about her doing a 5K, I think it was, and she's holding her medal. That has nothing to do with writing and reading, but it gives me a little bit more of an insight into who she is, and it just endears us to her. So she's a great person to look at her Instagram and maybe get some inspiration from. And then the man, his name is Charles Hack, and I found him on Instagram. I read his contemporary book, mystery book, loved it. He is constantly posting, and he's always posting other people's stuff. He does giveaways. He has like a whole Christian sci-fi series out. So he's always doing like these videos. He is a great example of a man doing this great content for his readers. And so his name again is Charles Hack. Hack, and then Christy Cameron. Let's see. Okay, so now what can you do with Bookstagrammers? Again, we don't want to divorce the writers and the readers. This is a collaboration you guys have together. You only are able to be writers because you have readers, and we're only able to read because we have writers. So we are a unit. You can go on Instagram and look up hashtags. So that's like the little number symbol. Go on and look up your genre. So if you write Christian historical fiction, look up hashtag Christian historical fiction, and all of these posts are going to come up from people who read that genre. Go to their pages, follow them, like their stuff, because they're going to say, oh my goodness, this author followed me. I want to know what they wrote. They're going to go to you, comment, connect. There you go. You have a reader. I promise this works. You can do giveaways. You can do, maybe you have an ebook that you're like, I want to give, 5 copies out. Do giveaways. This is going to roll traction. People are going to want to be a part of that. And who doesn't want to win something? So that's going to be something that they share on their own platforms to get more people to come to your platform. If you have a book that you are able to do this to, offer to give a free book to someone who's hosting a book club. Say, hey, I would love for you to do my book club or my book for your book club. I will even gift you as the hostess a free, print copy. Would you love to do that? I run a book club, and we're having so much fun. And the book we're reading right now is a 1950s Christian mystery, and girls are dressing up in 1950s clothes and making videos of them reading the book. And this just gives the author, and they're tagging the author. This is just giving her more and more content. And she may not even know we're doing her book for book club, but we're tagging her so people see her name. They're seeing these women have fun, because really we do have a lot of fun on Bookstagram. A lot of us are like the weirdos who like to cosplay. So we'll like dress up as your characters. We want to beat your characters. So again, we're like your biggest cheerleaders. If we love your content, and you guys are great writers, of course, we're going to love your content, but it's like free advertising. It truly is. So the more you pour into your readers, the more you're going to get out of it. So just keep that in mind. Comment and engage on their things. That's really important. And it makes us feel so special. I mean, again, it's like, this is a new, social media is not that old, and it's a new world where we can actually interact with people that we are inspired by. Again, can you imagine if you were able to get a like or a comment from Jane Austen? That would have been amazing. This is the same kind of thing that we get to do today. And I think we kind of lose that because it's so normal for us, but it really is exciting. It's really cool that we can connect with people who seem so far outside our reach. So respond, comment, engage with your readers. Do not ignore them. It will make their whole entire day. I promise they will be glued to you if you are engaging with them. It's just sweet. It's kindness. Yeah, get involved in their content. So basically that's all I have for my notes. I don't know if we want to do questions, but
We
I
do.
hope,
We have
I hope
lots of
that helps.
questions.
What?
We have lots and lots of questions. So we need to kind of get back through.
I know it's a lot. I hope I didn't talk too fast.
No, you were great. It was, I love the think instead of followers, go family, family, family.
Yes,
I like that.
family is exactly right.
Okay. I'm going to go back up because I think I saw a question from David before I saw any others. So I'm looking for his, and then Melissa, you can be on the lookout too, because apparently I just ran over his because I'm not seeing it. Would it be better if we brought people on and everybody can ask their own questions? Would you like that, to just sort of interact that way? Yeah. Okay, why don't we do that? Even if you wrote it in the chat, if you want to come on and ask it, we can do that. I just don't want to miss anybody. Here's David's. What are the differences between Bookstagram and Facebook for author and book promotion? What would you want to say about that?
So I would say, if you're using, like, does he mean using Facebook for that as opposed to
Maybe. I don't know. David, are you able to come on? And anyone else, please, if you just want to come on, we'd be glad to have you do that so we can have discussions. There you go.
No, that's for future reference when I start actually marketing and stuff. If they're kind of overlapping in utility and functionality, if it'd be better just to do one or the other.
I think Instagram, I'll always be an Instagram girl. When I've had a blog and a podcast, I had both, and Instagram was always where I got more of my listeners and for my blog, my readership. But the great thing about Instagram is your post can go straight to Facebook. So you're not having to go to Instagram and Facebook to post the same thing. You can set them up to link. And I don't think that if someone's following you on Instagram and Facebook and they see the same thing, they're going to get annoyed. They kind of expect that because it's different platforms. But if you just want my advice, I will always be an Instagram girl. I'll always tell you to do Instagram before Facebook.
I think too, it's well, Bethany's also messaging me and she said they don't overlap. So she has thoughts, but maybe she'll talk about those next week.
Yeah, get her in here. She's great at this stuff.
What?
But yeah, get Bethany in here.
Oh, there you go, Beth. If you want to come on, come on. All right. Well, we wait to see if she shows up. What do you see? Another question?
Mom.
Yes. Oh, there she is. Yes.
Well, I can't come on camera, but so for nonfiction, one of the big 5 publishers mentioned that, particularly for their nonfiction, where platform is really everything, they're not even considering Facebook in those numbers. So I would say it really depends on who your audience is to choose the platform you're going to be. But if you're looking at Facebook and Instagram, I would probably go Instagram too. That's coming from an agent's perspective. Okay, Jill, you're doing great. I love all of this. Bye.
It's really interesting. Goodbye.
Okay, another one. Is Instagram or Bookstagram better to use than Goodreads? And Pam says, time is the thing, I can't do both.
I would say, I've had people say, are you on Goodreads? Because I'll do, I'll put reviews on Instagram. I'll say not everyone's on Goodreads, but almost everyone's on Instagram. So leave it at that.
Because Goodreads is a good place to at least have a presence. Even if you're not interacting there, you need your books there. If you do blogging, you can have your blog automatically go there. When you update anything, it automatically goes through a thread. I don't do a lot of engagement on there. My priority is my newsletter, but then I am working not really hard, but I'm working towards working really hard with Instagram as
Something to think about too is I know it can be hard to remove yourself as the writer, but for me as a reader, just a little bit of backstory. I used to hate reading. It was not my thing. I didn't enjoy it at all. And then I was starting to change the kind of content I was watching. And so I was like, okay, there's not even a lot of great Christian content for TV. So I'm going to just start reading and pick up a book. Fell in love hard, especially with Christian historical fiction. And so I would have never been on Goodreads. I would have never been there, but I am on Instagram even before I had a Bookstagram. And that's how I found authors before I even became a reader. You know what I'm saying? So from potential readers' perspectives, they're not going to be on Goodreads. They are going to be on Instagram already. So if you feel like your time is divided there, I would put more into your Instagram stuff than a bunch of Goodreads things.
So then part 2.
Yes. I was just going to tell you to say part 2. Go ahead.
Yeah. Why my picture book character, I have a little picture book with 3 picture books with my dragon, Willoughby, has his own Instagram account.
Oh, that's
Where's Willoughby? Okay, so when he goes places and meets people and like that, I put stuff up there. Can you have 2? I'm like, I don't have my own Instagram account. Can I do that even though Willoughby has his through my phone, and all?
I would have your own for sure.
Can you do that?
Yeah. And Instagram makes it really easy that your account, let me pull mine up and show you. So this is my account up here. Sorry, that's a meme. Who knows what that is? Oh, that's supposed to be Mr. Collins from. So if you just double tap down here, whatever second account you have, it'll come straight up. So you can add an account very easily and go back and forth.
And do I add it on my phone? I can just do it right like I did.
So go to your settings, your Instagram settings, these lines right up here. I don't know if you guys can see that. Right here. And you can add an account in your settings.
Jillian, don't
I
you have to
look
have,
for it because I don't even see it on my phone anymore. It's probably
Jillian,
got
don't
put
you
to
have to
sleep.
have separate emails for them?
That's what I
No.
would know. Okay.
No?
Now it's you can do, it'll say email or phone number. Because I have a podcast idea and I wanted to make sure I could get the username for it before anyone took it, regardless if I do it or not. And it just asked for my same phone number and stuff. And it just added to the Instagram thing. I don't know if that makes sense. I didn't have to add a new email or anything.
And on a totally unrelated note, because y'all brought up Jane Austen, my youngest daughter who lives in Arizona just got cast as Mrs. Bennet. She doesn't even know the story. And she said, Mom, is that a good part? I'm like, yes, I'm getting my airline ticket right now. So I'll be going out in October to see that. And of course, she came in and I had to show her, the best version ever with Colin Firth and Jennifer.
Yes.
We love that one. We love that one. Kathy, since you're right there, do you want to talk about your question?
Sure. I have a question 1 and question 2 as well.
Okay.
So my question 1 is, I get inspiration from music. It is not always Christian music, but it's clean. How do I share those things correctly? Because I don't want to go against any,
Oh, yeah. So Instagram is great. They have a whole music library. So you can either like, you can show what you're, what you're doing as a post, like what you're listening to, or if you go in your stories, let me create a story and I'll show you guys. So like, let's say this is my story. Okay, I'll take a picture of my door. Right up here is a music link logo. If I hit that, all this music is going to come up, and they basically have almost everything. So if you're listening to this and you're like, oh, I want to share that I'm listening to this, you'll just click it. And then that's what's going to play in your story. And then you can say listening to, or, being inspired, or whatever you want to say, done, share. And then they'll hear the music you're listening to.
Oh, cool.
And then
Cool.
it's all, you're okay copyright wise, because it's all through their app. So that you
Perfect.
can do it like that.
Okay. All right. That's awesome. Pam, you're muted.
A picture of Bethany. Oh, with
Bethany with Willoughby.
I love
I was
it.
at one of the yes, hard to
It
anyway.
is.
Oh,
Oh,
there
there
we
we
go.
go.
There we
There we
go.
go. Oh,
Aw.
that's cute.
That's so cool. That's a great idea.
Yeah, it was fun.
That's cute. So question number 2 is, I deal with depression and anxiety and all that stuff in a rough last couple years. How can I keep this up even just once a week, if that's all I can manage? But how can I do it, and what should I post when I just don't feel like saying my life is crud right now?
Yeah. I would post verses. I will tell you guys, I think one of the things, like, I only say this because Mom said it first, but like her and Bethany, her saying she like looks like, oh, Jill always gets a following. I don't think it's so much that I'm doing anything special. I think it's because, and almost to my own fault, I'm very honest. And I've shared a lot about my life and about depression and anxiety. And I think people want real and they want fresh. We live in such a filtered world. So maybe if you are having a hard day, you post a verse and just encourage someone. Doesn't mean you have to tell, like air your dirty laundry or tell about everything that's going on, nothing like that. But especially as Christian writers, the word of God is always going to be what I think we should be posting before anything else, obviously. So that would be my encouragement to you. If you're like, I don't have anything to post, I don't want to post, I don't want to create today, I don't want to do anything, but I know I need to do something, post a verse.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
Okay.
So
Go ahead,
this
Pam.
is okay. Anyway, I'm gone down, and where it says add account, that's basically, then I do that and follow all the directions.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
cool. Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions? This is your chance. I don't see any. I don't know that I missed any in chat. If I did, just please let me know. Yes. Patricia.
I would like to know, for those of us that are not consistent and chose to jump off for about a year, how do you ever recoup?
Oh, you can. Just
What are some tips on the SEO or the
I don't know about all back, like the backside of things and algorithms. I just know that Instagram rewards you if you post. And the more you post, the more they're going to reward you for that. So if you're like, I've been out of this for a while, I would go crazy. I would be like, I'll post 2 times a day. I'll post in my stories. I'll start liking other people's things. Like, that would be my advice to you. But if that itself feels overwhelming, just start with one post every time you can do it and just stay consistent with it. That's the biggest thing, is people want to know you're going to show up. When you stop showing up, they stop showing up. So I would just get right back into it. But I've gone off Instagram for a while and come back, and it's very easy. People are they get excited that you're back. It really is. There's a lot of crazy out there on social media, but I've met one of my best friends off Instagram, and we've been together in person. And so it really is family. So just start it up again. That's what I would do.
Brandy said, do the things that Facebook would put you in jail for. Oh, goodness. Well, and I've got, I think, a little tip that I just sort of came up with this last week or so, because I'm not as quick with Canva as Jill is. So when I do my images for my newsletter, it takes me a very long time to do them. But then they just, then they just sit there. And so I sent my newsletter out last week, and then it occurred to me I could use these images on Instagram. Like, duh, why haven't I been doing this all along? But the thing of it is, you promise your newsletter readers that they get to be the first or among the first to know what's going on in your life or what you're doing and that kind of thing. So it's like, okay, I just sent my newsletter out, I think on Wednesday or Thursday of last week. So I'm going to wait a week, but I went ahead and put those images in a folder called IG 2024-08. And over this next week, I think I already posted one yesterday, didn't I, Jill? Actually, I went ahead and posted the picture of rugby. I'm just going to start. And then that made me sort of go through and just put some other things in there. So it's like, okay, now I already have I have a little bit of content. Now, what I'm not good at is doing the stories. Bethany worked with me when I was with her, not this past time, I was with her the time before that. And it was really fun, but I'm very, very slow at it. So this is one of the things I want to work on because I've only got like one or two little those circle things where you save
Highlight.
things. And I want a whole bunch, I want a whole bunch of those little things where we're saving things. So I think that makes you look more active too. If you have more, even if there may be only one thing in each one, at least you've got more things on there. So Instagram can be a lot of fun. And I think that's the mindset we just need to have is to just make it fun and do what you can. Yeah, Pam?
I just thought of another question. You talked a little bit about hashtags, and I know what they are. They're for searching and all. My understanding was for Instagram to work the best, you need at least 10.
That Bethany, that may be true. I don't know. I haven't done any I haven't done any webinars or anything on Instagram in a long time. I can just tell you what I do. Sometimes I'll use 3, sometimes I'll use 15. If I have like on my notes app on your phone, like I have different like sections of different hashtags I just have saved so I can copy and paste them into a post.
Okay.
That way I'm not having to think about it.
Right.
So yeah, I don't know. But that could be true. I feel like the more the merrier. Why not?
Well, my daughter first helped me get on it for Willoughby. That's what she said. She was like, Mama, you need at least 10 for
there you go.
Instagram. You don't need as much for Facebook. So
What
Yeah,
about using your name?
Actually,
Go ahead.
no, go ahead, Mom.
Like I hashtagged my name the last couple times. Is that
Yeah.
considered okay, or is that sort of
Oh
okay?
yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
because sometimes like if I'm looking up your books, I might look up your hashtag to see what comes
The
up.
name. Yeah.
Yes.
I want to share something too that I listened to somebody about 3 weeks ago now talking about Instagram, and she was talking about remember that you're an author, and unless you're wanting to be an influencer, stop trying to think of yourself as an influencer. That's not why you're on Instagram. And so she said, when these trends come around, don't feel like you have to do them just because they're the trend, because you're really not there for that. You're there to build the relationships that Jill talked about. And she talked about doing like evergreen content. So, you're just so when people come, they're seeing what you do, what you write, all these kinds of things. And even that just sort of made I don't know, like switch something in my brain, I guess. It's like, oh, okay, I don't have to try to take on that title. All I am is someone here sharing my stuff, talking about what I do, and it sort of took a weight off, I think, in a way. Like Jill's an influencer. I don't have that kind of personality and that sort of desire, and so it's like, okay, I don't have to be. That's not why I'm there. I'm not there for that. I'm there because I'm an author and I want to connect with my readers and build that community and build that audience. So maybe that'll help somebody else too, just to sort of give you a whole different way of thinking about it.
It's important too. It really is. I feel
Yeah.
like so much like when I've listened to like writers conferences, and correct me if I'm wrong, but a lot of it feels like you're not gonna do well unless you get famous. And I just I really don't like that. And I almost don't agree with it because I won't say who, but there is a very big Christian author. She only has 1,000 so Instagram followers, but she's huge and she has, contracts with Ravel and Barber, and everyone knows who she is. But if you looked at her platform, you might and based it just off that, you would be like, oh, she's a nobody. But that's none of us are nobodies, right? And if you're doing it for God's glory, I feel like you've already won. So don't worry about being famous. That's yucky.
I'm going to put that on a quote. Don't worry about being famous.
Yeah,
That's
don't worry.
true.
Yeah.
Jill. My God. Anyone else have any more questions about Instagram or how to even, I don't know how technical we can get on a Zoom thing, but
My best advice is just to play with it and get on and mess around with it, because you'll learn it. The more you do it yourself, the better you'll be at it. And then it'll become second nature to you. You won't even, you can just be like, thank you for having me. It's always, I love talking about this stuff, and especially on the side of it and having a Bookstagram account now. It's so fun. It's so much fun. And we're so thankful for what you guys do.
well, people ask, or someone asks who you are on Instagram, and you want to tell us how to find you?
Yeah. She reads Christian fiction.
Yeah.
That's the username. Yes, I'd love to connect with you guys on there. We have so much fun. And so many of you ladies, I'm sure, like, I don't know, I feel like it's not even just like, if let's say you write contemporary, these women that are on Instagram and love to read, but not only do they love God, but they are fun. They love Jane Austen. They love, and they'll post the funniest stuff. So like, even if you need a break and you just need to like kind of step outside and laugh at something, like your readers are funny. These women are great. It really is. And you kind of get to see who your target audience is. What are they doing in their lives? And that might help you in a story.
That's true. That's true. The book, I just put a little plug out there. The book Jill was talking about earlier, I'm not remembering the name of it. The Women of
Wittens.
Wittens is by Donna Mumma.
Yeah.
And Donna and I have connected on Facebook before this book came out, because she and I both have collies. And so we would, always like each other's pictures of our collies. And then Jill had that book, and I said, oh, I know Donna. So that's always fun too. Jill shows me what she's reading. Oh, I know that person. Or I was like, oh, I don't know that person, So it's really fun to
But you have these
have this
30, 40, and
connection.
even 50-year-old women dressing up as these characters.
That's
It
so
is
cool.
so fun. I mean, it is so fun. And that's just, again, for you guys, that's free marketing, that's free advertising, that gets people to who may not have picked up your book to pick up your book. So you want to build community with your readers on there.
I'd
Yeah.
like to add one little thing. When I
Please.
was doing good on Instagram, I'm not right now, but when I was, in Canva, I made like 3 different backgrounds. And one was for book quotes, one was for, whatever. And it was so easy to go into my Canva, pop in what I wanted, save it to make sure I kept the blank one, and then put it over into Instagram. It was so quick that way. Should
And
take
then
my
your
own
aesthetic
advice.
is all the same, and that's
Yeah.
beautiful, and that makes people want to look at it. So that's awesome. It's a great tip.
Yeah, I've heard that one before too, and I thought that is excellent. She kept her colors just like you said, just had these templates, and then she could just switch them in and out. Very, very good. Patricia asked about spam following accounts. She takes the time to delete them, block them, remove them, but that takes so much time.
Don't worry about that. Leave, unless they're like sexual in nature and harassing you. Instagram's doing this thing, which is awesome. If you go to your followers, if you click on followers, it's going to say followers, who you're following, subscriptions, and then it's going to say flagged. So any flagged requests, anything that they even think looks like spam is spam, they're going to put it there, and then you can go in and remove those people. So I've been able to do that. You're always going to get bots. Now, if you're having an influx of bots, I would be concerned about that. But 1 or 2 or 3, just leave them. They're not going to hurt you, again, unless they're sexual in nature and it's more harassing. But I would just leave them.
Sometimes I'll get 20 to 30 a day.
Oh, no.
It's terrible.
Yeah, I would even maybe look into that and why. Maybe your username is on something. I don't know. Cause yeah, I'm sorry. That's hard.
Yeah, that is.
They should be
Wow.
flat photos.
Bethany put on here, just for the power of branding, if anyone saw this comment, that if anyone uses a filter like Jill used to use, I still think it's one of her pictures. So that's the power of
Right.
branding. It's still, she still thinks of her.
Oh yeah. I feel like I can't get, it's hard for me to even get away from that branding style. I was working for a crisis pregnancy center and I was doing their social media and I was like, that looks a lot like my old stuff. I just love it. Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
That's so funny. Well, listen, unless anyone else has a question or comment, we'll start the after party a little bit early, which will be fun because I actually want to ask Jill to share something. We'll see if she will off the recording. If you are, well, let me first tell you about next week. So I was very honored to have Jill with us this week.
Thank you.
And my other daughter, Bethany Jett, will be with us next week, which is so fun to have them one right after the other. Bethany will be on to talk about her manuscript wish list as an agent. And so that'll be really exciting to see what she's doing. She talks to a lot of editors at a lot of houses, and she's just really gone into this, dove into agenting and learning a lot. And she's got a lot. I'm sure she's going to be able to share with us about that and how you find out people's wish lists and all of that kind of thing. So how to use, okay, clarification, how to use manuscript wish lists to track trends and rework your queries. So that's great. So you won't want to miss that. If you're watching the replay, we do invite you to join us any Tuesday morning. We start at 10 o'clock Central, 11 o'clock Eastern. For some of us who are here, it's 8 o'clock in the morning. Well, it was 8 o'clock in the morning. Now it's getting on to 9. So whatever your time zone, we just welcome you to join us. We'd love for you to join our Facebook Writers Chat members group. There are questions there. You do have to answer the questions or we will not let you in. And you can also check out our Writers Chat Facebook page and see all of our videos. We are on YouTube under the Serious Writer channel. We have our own Writers Chat playlist. So you can see we've got over 300 videos now, a lot of information, and it's just a great library of stuff if you want to improve your writing and your craft and your business and all that kind of thing. So until next week, we'll see everybody next Tuesday. Bye-bye.